No, you can't. All right, testing. You able to hear me over there? Testing, testing. All right. Well, happy Father's Day, everybody. This is Patrick Costas here. We got a lot of stuff to go over. A lot of breaking news today on this Sunday, so let's get to it. All right. So first off, a U.S.-led coalition shoots down the Syrian warplane. So actually, let me go to this. So if you go on Drudge, this is the cover of it. USA shoots down a Syrian aircraft first time. So go ahead and go on that. So this is from the AP. The Pentagon, U.S. shoots down a Syrian aircraft for the first time. The U.S. military on Sunday shot down a Syrian Air Force fighter jet that bombed local forces aligned with the Americans in the fight against Islamic State militants, an action that appeared to mark a new escalation of the conflict. And you go on here, the official release from CENTCOM talking about, and it says that at approximately 4:30 Syrian time, June 18th, pro-Syrian regime forces attacked the Syrian Democratic Forces held town of Jadin, south of Tabku. I'm sure I'm saying that wrong, but wounded a number of SDF fighters and driving the SDF from the town. Coalition aircraft conducted a show of force and stopped the initial pro-regime advance towards the SDF-controlled town. The following pro-Syrian force attack, the coalition contacted its Russian counterparts by telephone via an established deconfliction line to de-escalate the situation and stop the firing. At 6:43 p.m., a Syrian regime Su-22 dropped bombs near SDF fighters south of Tapqua, which I'm sure I'm saying wrong again, and in accordance with rules of engagement and in collective self-defense of coalition partnered forces, was immediately shot down by a U.S. FA-18 Hornet. Okay, and you go down here. This struck me as funny. This, well, not funny. I mean, sick funny, I guess, in a way. But this guy, I guess, tweeted out right afterwards. His Major Fod, Syrian protector or Syria protector. So he tweeted out, "You American bastards just shot down my cousin's aircraft, Ali, while taking out the scumbags of ISIS in the area. Ali, hope you're okay, bro." If that's real, I find that, I mean, just amazing. Can you imagine the Vietnam War if I'm shot down a North Vietnamese MiG and the guy tweeted, "Hey, you know," I don't know, just man, technology and war, it just really never ceases to amaze me. So this is the type of aircraft that was taken down. And Syria Army U.S. coalition shoots down one of our fighter jets that was engaging a fleeing ISIL convoy. So they're saying they were trying to hit an ISIS convoy. So, I mean, as you can see by the map, I mean, this is stuff that we're going to be running into over and over again as these come closer together. And I'm not sure what we're even doing there. So we'll come back to this, but this is the first story I wanted to go over. The second story that has to do with Syria is this: Iran launches missile strikes against terror bases in eastern Syria. In a major escalation of the Syrian proxy war, Iran's Revolutionary Guard said it launched multiple missile strikes from IRGC missile bases in provinces of and Kurdistan, targeting terror bases in Deir ez-Zor in eastern Syria in retaliation for ISIS-claimed attacks in Tehran. It says Iran has launched missiles from IRGC missile bases in province of same areas, Kermanshah and Kurdistan, targeting terrorists in those areas. So, in other words, they launched ballistic missiles for the first time, it looks like, since the Iran-Iraq war. And you can see they actually have footage of these missiles being launched. So situation's getting a little as these forces get closer and closer together, and we're not sure what exactly is going on in that area. And the third story, let me go back here. We have, and I have another TV, so sorry if there's a pause here and there because I'm looking over at the TV because there is a terrorist, it looks like an apparent terrorist attack is going on in London right now. All right. It says reports vehicle collided with pedestrians in London, several casualties. So situation is this is very common to the other terrorist attacks we've seen in that area. So I wouldn't be at all surprised to find out that this is somehow involved. It's actually, they're saying that it looks like it might have been at the end of a mosque service where folks were walking out, but it's a little unclear. Maybe we should go on Drudge and see what they're saying on there. All right, one moment. All right, strike. White van driver plows into and hurts at least 10 people outside well-known Finsbury Park Mosque in New London. Terror attack before Muslims finish evening prayers, tackle suspect to the ground. A van plowed into a crowd on Seven Sisters Road near Finsbury Park Mosque. Muslims leaving late night prayers being observed for the month of Ramadan. A clean-shaven white man was arrested by police officers at the scene. More than 10 pedestrians were hit by the white who veered onto pavement near a renowned North London mosque in what is being described as a terrorist attack. So I'm wondering if this is some kind of backlash, you know, somebody trying to take the law into their own hands or something, and some kind of retaliation, which that's not going to be good if that's what that is, because the last thing we need, I mean, it's not going to be good no matter what it is, but violence begets violence begets violence. I mean, that's why the British government really needs to take control of the situation and start vetting all these terrorists that they've let into their country a little bit better. So that looks like the situation in London at this time. Looking on the TV screen over there, vehicle collided with pedestrians in London. This is on Fox News, several casualties. So the situation today, I mean, you'd think it'd be a quiet Sunday. I guess not. All right, let me close out some of these things here. So another thing to consider about this Syria thing is I don't really know what the end goal there is, and I'd like to ask all of you that, and you can reply in the comments or go ahead and live chat now if you'd like. But does anybody really have a clear idea of what we're doing in Syria? Because I don't, and I really don't see. I know Donald Trump has stopped any kind of discussion with the Pentagon and the media about troop levels there. So obviously, I mean, I see video of our troops there all the time on YouTube. So I imagine we've got a lot of troops there. You know, I couldn't tell you specifically how many, and I doubt the public knows. But I mean, like I said when I was talking about the news report, as these forces get closer and closer together, the Russians, the Syrians, the Iranians, which are firing off ballistic missiles in that area now, and our own forces are moving up. What is the end game? We're not there for a regime change, so why are we shooting down Assad's MiGs? And these Syrian freedom fighters we're backing, are these the same guys that McCain wanted to support, the same guys that beheaded, you know, a teenager not all that long ago? You know, who are these people we're supporting? I mean, because 9 times out of 10, and I say this from my own experience being in the Middle East, usually the people that we end up supporting are just as bad, if not worse, than the people we're fighting. So I'm just really curious of what the hell we're doing there. And I did a live stream about this yesterday, about the Afghanistan situation. What the hell is the purpose there? What are we going to do there? Are we just going to continue on plodding through that area like, you know, some kind of stumbling giant? Or are we actually going to say, you know what, enough's enough? 16 years we've been bankrolling Afghanistan. I mean, their corruption and their ineptness is not our problem, quite honestly. 16 years is plenty of time for them to stand up on their own 2 feet. And personally, I'm not willing to vote any more American blood or treasure to that place. We can keep supplying them for weapons because we've set up their military, and I have no problem with them defending themselves. But as far as us sitting there and spoon feeding them, I don't think that we really need to be doing that. And you have to wonder, with all this going on and with the Syrian escalation, I know Donald Trump, and I could probably pull it up right now if I share my screen, that it's been reported that he's giving the military a free hand to do what they will in the Middle East, or specifically in Syria and Iraq. Let me see if I can find that news story. I'll just do this. We'll do a search. Trump, Pentagon. I'm looking over at Fox News now, and it looks like nothing news being reported about that London issue. They say several casualties, nothing new being reported. All right, pulling up this here. This was on ABC, which, take that for what it will, but I know this has been reported by a lot of different sources, including sources I have within the military, so I know this to be true. These pop-up screens. Okay, so let me get this. Crazy screen. Trump gives Pentagon authority to determine troop levels in Afghanistan. So Defense Secretary, and when did this come out? June 14th, so just about 4 days ago. Defense Secretary James Mattis confirmed Wednesday that President Trump has granted him the authority to set troop levels in Afghanistan. The move means Mattis will decide whether to send 2,000 to 4,000 more troops to Afghanistan, as has been recommended by U.S. military commanders. Now, and a lot of you that are probably regular listeners to me know I've brought up before my issues with the deep state and what I feel to be kind of the deep state taking over Donald Trump's council. You have members of CFR and things like that, and folks in there that kind of don't serve the best interests of the United States. I think they more serve the interests of the military-industrial complex, whether wittingly or unwittingly. But that's what they're doing. So I'm wondering, giving them too much of a free hand. Can we see a lot more of these type of escalations? I mean, God forbid next time we kill some Russians, shoot down a Russian plane, or there's a million other things that could happen. Or what if the Russians end up shooting down? We know for a fact that they've moved in a lot of very substantial air defense hardware in that area. So there's no doubt they could take down our aircraft if they chose to. So I'm wondering if the certain, Obamanites, or whatever you want to call them, or deep state operatives, or however you want to call it, in the National Security Council, neocons, whichever, are trying to arrange things to set up a nice big war there. And these type of incidents, like shooting down aircraft and things like that, are exactly the type of thing that could lead to a massive war out there. And it seems to me that the Democrats and all them would love nothing more than a war with Russia. I mean, they blame Russia for everything. So it would probably be the greatest thing for them if we could get into a nice big shooting war with Russia, a war that would be absolutely pointless and serve nobody's interests but the deep state and globalist scum that we seek to defeat. So all that being said, I am not in favor of any of this escalation. I'm not in favor of escalating in Syria, and I'm not in favor of any kind of serious escalations in Afghanistan. I just don't see it as being in Americans' best interest. And it also comes to a point, it's like, when are we going to learn from our mistakes? We played this game before. It was called Vietnam. It didn't end well for us or them, as a matter of fact. It was a war that really nobody won. Game with Afghanistan for 16 years. Granted, that was an attack on us by people that were staged out of that country. So I understand that. I don't think this was some big conspiracy. The Americans wanted to get in there so bad. I mean, we ran from there as fast as we could once the Soviets left. But we got stuck in there, and I think because Iraq took the took the attention away from the brass and everything. It took the pressure off of Afghanistan and off the Taliban, and that was just enough to allow the the crazies to move in there. And now we've got the situation where we have now. But what really upsets me about this whole thing is the fact that the Afghanistan is completely inept and incompetent. I don't even think they could run a 2-car parade. I mean, after 16 years and billions of dollars and almost 3,000 American lives, how much more of this are we willing to put up with, is the real question. So I have a real fear that a war is going to be started here kind of quietly when nobody's paying attention. I mean, while we're all focused on, Donald Trump and this and these idiots like Kathy Griffin or sickos trying to assassinate the congressional leadership, all these things provide some, a could say, and in the meantime, a big time shooting war could break out. And this shoot down today of a Syrian aircraft is going to be a big escalation to that. And I'm really curious to see what Russia's reaction to this is going to be. And I mean, who knows? That'll really decide how bad the situation gets. But so to recap, let me look over on the London terror attack. Muslim Council says victims were leaving the Finsbury Park Mosque. Arrested and several injured after a vehicle hits pedestrians in London. There's a possibility that this might be some kind of a reverse terrorist attack, or whatever you want to call it, on Muslims for the recent terrorist attacks that have been going on in England. That's going to be horrible. I mean, it's horrible no matter what, but things are not going well in England, unfortunately. No word on any casualties or anything like that. And still got some severe problems going on. And not much, it doesn't look like there's anything else coming out about the Syria situation. So we'll just have to see. I imagine the next step is going to be waiting and seeing what Putin's response to this is going to be. But let me know what you think on all these topics, and please leave me some comments if you think and what you think about the Syria shoot down, or us shooting down the Syria aircraft, if it was a good thing or not. Say again. Oh, hold on one second. Looks like I gotta. Sorry, everybody. I'm a little new with this live chat, and my assistant over here is telling me I have a live chat. Can you bring it over to me? Because I actually don't have it on my screen. Give me 1 second. I'm going to look at your live chat. Sorry, they're just not coming up for me. All right, let me look over. Nothing new about looking at Sky News now. Nothing new on that. All right. Let's see. We support the Syrian opposition, and so this was from Flinte. Sorry if I'm saying your name wrong. We support the Kurds. We support the Syrian opposition, and we attack Syrian government forces. I don't even know what side we are on. That's exactly right. I really don't know what side we're on either, and I think that the situation becomes, and the more dangerous it could be, and it's really not going to be a good thing. I don't think we know what our policy is. I don't. I often wonder how much money is made off the weapons being pumped into there. I wonder if that's something like, a consideration into that. I don't know, but it seems like the more and more these doesn't matter. It seems to be we're not really discriminate on who we're helping nowadays. We're helping folks that we really shouldn't be helping, and we're protecting people we really shouldn't be protecting. The safest bet for the United States is to stay out of that area. So I think that's the best move for us. But yeah, I agree. We support this group. We support that group. This, at the end of the day, it really makes you wonder what our policy there is. All right. Any other need to respond to? All right. Okay, so I think I'll go ahead and end this live stream, but please go ahead and leave comments on here. I'll make sure comments are enabled and let me know what you think about these breaking news stories. So 3 big breaking news stories here on this Father's Day. We had the terrorist attack in London, which looks like it might have been an attack on Muslim worshippers. We had the shoot down of a Syrian Air Force jet by F-18, one of the U.S. F-18, and we had the ballistic missiles launched by Iran into targets in Syria. So a very eventful Father's Day. But I hope that these breaking news stories don't ruin your Father's Day, and I hope everybody has a great one and have a great time and love your families and have a great rest of your day.